This conference will now be recorded.
Have made you presenter too.
I have to restart my computer because of the way my system is, and then I will come back and I will present. So I think someone might have to go before me. I'm so sorry.
No, that's fine. You can restart and join the session back. So until then,
Okay.
I'll cover something. Maybe you'll be
Okay.
missing, maybe you can stay over. Okay, thank
Sounds
you.
great. I'll be right back.
Okay. So guys, we saw what is list, dictionary, and variable, integer. So today we are going to see one more data structure which is called tuples. In Python, tuples are very similar to list. However, unlike list, they are immutable, meaning they cannot be changed. You would use the tuples to present things that shouldn't be changed, such as days of the week or dates on a calendar, etc. So the main thing which we have to learn is immutable, which means you can't change. So let's create a tuple. And now I want to check. So unless we used to use square bracket, here we are using curve brackets. And now I want to check the length of tuples. You can also mix multiple objects which with the different types like string integer together. So let me show. So here we have string and also integer, and we also have indexing here. So the zeroth element of tuple is 1 and the first element is 2. We can also do slicing. So for that, let me create a lengthy tuple. So to perform slicing, we have three parameters: start, stop, and step. So here I want to reverse the tuple. So let me ignore the start and stop and give the step as -1. So it's reversed. I want to start from second index and end at 8th index. So in this case, 8th index will not be 8th index, 7th index will not be printed. So before 7th index, which is 6. So from index 2 to 6, you will be seeing here. Sorry, I gave wrong syntax. So this is the second index, 0, 1, 2. Second index, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the sixth index. Got it? So tuples also have built-in methods, but not like list. They do not have many. So one is dot index. So what you can do is if you have a value, you want to know the index of that value. So here I want to know the index of the 7. What I can do, t dot index. So index of this element 7 is 6. So it's what printed here. And count will tell how many times that particular value is available inside the tuple. So inside count, I'll be giving 1. So here, if it has multiple 1, it will be giving that count here. So let me create a different tuple where I'll give, so here in this case, t.count, I'm giving the value which is 3. So it is telling 3 times the 3 was available inside this tuple. Now I want to change this element called 5. So what is the index? 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The index is also 5. So I want to
What is this
change,
hash dot index about?
this is comment.
Oh, okay, okay.
So here, so you got this, you understood this, right? T dot index and T dot count.
How many elements it is,
Yeah,
how many
so
times
this
the
is
element is
when you,
repeated? Okay.
correct. So if you give an element, it is going to return an index. So for example, if, so now the tuple is this one, the latest one is this. So if I give 8, it's not having 8 inside it, it is going to return an error. So X is not in tuple. And now I want to change a value. So I want to change 5, which is also index is also 5. So I want to change the index of 5 to some other number, maybe 6. So here you know that it doesn't support item assignment. So already I have mentioned that tuples are immutable. You can't change. So once you have created it, you can't change the elements inside the tuple. So let me try append. Maybe I'll append 8 to the list, into the tuples. Again, it's showing error. So you can't append, you can't change. So you have to use tuple as it is. So you may be wondering why bother using tuples when they have fewer available methods. To be honest, tuples are not used as often as a list in programming, but are used when immutability is necessary. That is, you don't want to change one purpose. So if in your program you're passing around an object and need to make sure it does not get changed, then a tuple becomes your solution. It provides convenient source of data integrity you don't want to change, and you should now be able to create and use tuples. And next is what we are going to see is
Tilly has put some message.
mhm. Could you please give me the screen recording again so I can restart here? Tilly, what is it? I couldn't understand. So you're back or?
No, I haven't left yet. If you give me the to be a presenter to screen share, I can restart my computer and then I can get back
Oh,
into
okay.
the meeting. Yeah.
Mhm. I have given you Tilly.
Anu, I think you are on mute. I can't hear anything. That's why I rejoined again.
Oh, sorry.
I thought my side, so I rejoined, but chill.
Okay, sorry. Really sorry.
Yeah,
So since when you couldn't hear
from chat.
set, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I'll retake set, don't worry. Sorry for the discussion.
Thank you.
But thank you for letting me know. Otherwise, I would have not known. Mm, don't worry, I'll take it again. So here we are going to see set. So sets are unordered collection of unique elements. Okay, it can have only unique element. It cannot have unique means it doesn't have any duplicate. Or the same thing will never be repeated. It will be unique. So how do you create set? You just have to give set this. A set is created. Now X is a set. You can add a value to set by giving dot add, and you can give the element inside it. Now you will see the set. So here, note that we see set in curly braces, right? Tuples is curved, list is squared, and dictionary is also curly braces. So how do you differentiate between set and dictionary in this case? Any idea, guys? How will you know whether it is a set or dictionary?
I mean,
Dictionary will be
y-
having key and value.
yeah,
Right, right.
and yeah, and we for chat it's no duplicates, right? Values.
Uh-huh. So, so here, let me add one more element. So here I'm adding the second element. You will see x is 1 comma 2, and let me add a duplicate element and see if I see any error. I don't see any error surprisingly, but see here before adding 1 it was 1 comma 2. It is repeating printing the same 1 comma 2. It is not adding the third element as 1 because it cannot have a duplicate element inside it, right? So for example, let me create a list. So this is my list, and I'm just doing cast. Cast means changing one type to a different type. So sorry, I'm changing this list one variable, which is list to set. Now you will see all the duplicate elements are removed. There is no multiple 5 or multiple 4 or multiple 6, multiple 3, they are removed. So we saw three different things. Four actually, yeah. So one is, I know you are very clear with strings and number. In number, you know what is different between integer and float. Now list is what we define in square brackets, and you have multiple elements inside it. They have index, and you have dictionary, which is in curly braces. It will be in key value pair. And it's like a database, how you save like name of the student, phone number of the student, the mark of the student. You can save in that way. And we also saw tuples, which is similar to list. It has one element after other, but it is in curved braces. But list tuples are not changed. I mean, it is immutable. You cannot change it. As in list, you can change it. Even in dictionary, you can change it. Set, you can change it, but it's not going to have any duplicate element inside it. So there is a small minor difference between each thing. So depends based on your requirement. to solve a solution, to solve a problem, you can opt which one is need necessary for that. But mostly you will be using list and dictionary, and only when you need unique element you go for set, and only when you need a object which shouldn't be changed in your program you will go for tuple, right? So tuples and set are only in special cases. Otherwise, list and dictionary is enough, more than enough for your program. And we already saw what is Boolean. So Boolean is nothing but true or false. It has only two values inside it. One is true and the other is false. And true should be in capitalized. Capitalized means the initial letter is in capital, not all. So here I can't give true. It is going to throw me an error. Neither in the small case, it is also going to throw me an error. So you get Boolean as an output when you do comparison like greater than equal to, less than equal to, double equal to. Correct? So that's all about all the data structures in Python. Um, string, a number, integer, float, inside number, and booleans, and set, list, tuple, dictionary. Just revise it multiple times, you will get hang of all the data structures in Python. And now we are going to see files. So Tilly, after we cover files, maybe you can take over the screen share control, and you can go through your programming. And I also trying to create a there is a website I'm trying to create an account, and there I can assign some assignments. There um, I can explain a problem, then you will have an editor inside it where you can put your program. Then after you execute it, it is going to tell whether the program is right or wrong. But I'm trying to create an account there where multiple students will be accessing one single problem. If it goes good, if it success, then I'll be assigning some minor assignments. It is not that major. Let's see. But now we'll go to files. So Python uses file objects to interact with external files on your computer. You can have some files in your computer. These file objects can be of any sort of file you can have in your computer, whether it can be an audio file, text file, email, or Excel document, etc. You will probably need to install certain libraries or modules to interact with those various file types, but they are easily available. Okay, um, I'll cover the downloading module later. So Python has a built-in open function that allows us to open and play with the basic file types. First, we will need a file though. We need a file, and so let's see. We are going to use IPython to create a text file. Okay, let me show it. So now I'm coming out of Python and I'm going inside IPython. So here I have written one command where it was showing me error like invalid syntax. So now let me use the same command here. So here, what happens when I give this command here, this is a file name and it's a text file because I have an extension of txt. And this is a command to create and write a file. So here I'm going to give a text. So it is writing text.text. What it is writing, it is writing this content inside it. So let me do one more thing. Let me open a file. So my file equal to open. Let me give abc.txt. So it is going to give me an error. Sorry, the syntax. So it is going to give me an error. It is telling file not found error. So it couldn't find such file called abc.txt. Either the file is not available, otherwise the file is not available in the current path. So we have to, I'm giving pwd. Pwd means present working directory. It is going to tell me which directory I am inside. So I am inside user C user AN and AB. If any file is there inside it, it is going to pick that file. If you're giving a file, but it is there in your system, but not inside this path, then you're definitely not going to get that file. So you have to make sure you have a file inside this path, or otherwise you have to switch your path where your file is. Okay. If I have a file, it's in different place of my system, then what I can do, let me first open and show my folder structure. So we are inside this path, right? So here you see the text is created. Maybe view in list with details. So here you can see test is created. My time is 7:42. So it is created 2 minutes ago today because I have created it from my IPython, correct? And now I wanted a file which is in different directory. Before that, we'll create a file in different directory. Maybe what I'll do, we are inside this directory, right? Maybe I'll go to Python, or I'll go to Python, project Python, and here let me create a text file. Any kind of file you can create, but let me create abc.text, and I want this path, correct? And you know Python, in Python, instead of single slash, it is showing double slash. So let me convert it first. So this is my path where my, okay, I have this problem. I have a space which is not a right way. Let me rename it. Okay, it's done. So the space is removed. Here. Correct. This is what we manually created inside the folder. I'm just copying this path. because since I am in different path, but I want to open a file which is in some other path, in that case, what I'll do, my file, let me do one thing before that. Let me save this content and let me copy this path again. So here I'm going to give the same command my file equal to open. So instead of giving just abc.txt, what I'm going to do, I'm going to give a complete path. So now what it does, it goes and search inside this path if this file is available. If you don't give any path, it is going to search only in the current directory where you are. There is some issue. Let me do one thing. How? Guys, give me 2 minutes. My daughter is crying. I'll go and come back. Maybe I'll give Tilly the presenting rights. She can explain. Tilly, I have given you a presenting rights. You can go ahead. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Then.
I was muted. Hi, can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yes? Awesome. Okay. Just gonna... All right, cool. I'm... Okay. All right. I guess I am gonna go. All right. So hi, everyone. I'm going to go over the Fibonacci series. I just wanted to give you some extra context to why this is such a cool series. Okay, so this series was introduced by this Italian mathematician named Leonardo Fibonacci. And in 1202, he proposed this puzzle of how many rabbits could a single pair of bunnies reproduce after a year. So these bunnies populated over and over and over again. And what he realized was that the total number of pair of rabbits, both adult and baby, in a particular month is the sum of the total pairs of rabbits in the previous 2 months. Now, this is what the Fibonacci series states. Side note, he actually didn't populate all of these bunnies. It was all in his head, but this series is really important in our world. So these are some examples of the Fibonacci series shown in our universe. There's this thing called the golden ratio, which is derived from the Fibonacci series. And fun fact, the golden ratio is actually associated with beauty. Like our eyes are just drawn to things that express this ratio and consequently the series. And it's expressed everywhere from plants to animals to the weather to art, music, building. And even we express this series in like the shape of our ear to even when we're like tiny little embryos, we express this. So takeaway is remember you're beautiful. Why? Because you express the Fibonacci series. But this series is very important. Okay, so these are the first 20 numbers in the series, hence Fibonacci sequence. And in my opinion, these first two right here are the most important because you can get the rest of these guys if you know the definition and you just remember these two. Now, when n, your number, is greater than 1, you use this formula, which is f of n minus 1 plus f of n minus 2. Okay, so I'll try not to go into the weeds, but it's very math heavy, but you really just need these first two, and you can easily create the rest of the numbers. So wherever you see n, you replace it with your number. So when n is greater than 1, right, we follow this formula, right? So for n equals 2, f of n becomes f of 2, and then this generic formula becomes f of 2 minus 1 plus f of 2 minus 2. I know, words and math, right? But you just simply need to go and remember your simple math, and you solve what's inside the parentheses. And so f of 2 minus 1 becomes f of 1 because 2 minus 1 is 1. And then this side, f of 2 minus 2 becomes f of 0. Now we know what these two are because they are the ones that we are always given. So you just simply replace f of 1. Since that equals 1, you replace it with 1. And then f of 0 is 0. So you replace that with 0, and it's just a simple 1 plus 0, and it's just 1. And so this is how you remember that it's the previous two. And if you notice, right, like right here, f of 3 is just f of 2 minus 1, the previous two, and so on and so forth. All right, so bear with me, one more example. So this example is kind of how Python goes through, or not just Python, but any language if you use the a recursive function. So let's take something like f of 5, right? Now, we remember our little formula, or not just even the formula, but the definition, and we remember that when n is 0, it's 0. When n is 1, the answer is 1, right? So by the definition, f of 5 is going to be the previous 2, which is f of 4, then f of 3. Now at the top of our head, we don't know what it is. We don't have that table, but that's okay. We just let's ignore 1, and we'll focus on f of 4. And by the definition, f of 4 is the previous 2, which is f of 3 and f of 2. Again, we don't have the table. We don't have to memorize everything. So let's ignore 1, the right side, and we'll just focus in on f of 3, okay? F of 3, again, just by the definition, is equals the previous 2, which is f of 2 plus f of 1. I think guys are getting the picture. Ignore 1. All right, cool. This kind of looks familiar, right? F of 1 plus f of 0, right, is equal to f of 2, right? So we just plug in 1 for f of 1 and then 0 for f of 0. Cool. All right. So f of 2 is done. Now we can go and look at the next one, which is f of 1, which we know is just 1. We trickle that down. All right, cool, we're done. And guess what? We've also finished f of 3. So now we can peel this blocked one, f of 2, and then by the definition, we know that is the previous two, which is f of 1 plus f of 0. I think you guys are getting it, right? We replace f of 1 with 1, f of 0 with 0, trickle that down. Those are done. This one's done. And guess what? We have now finally completed what f of 4 is. Now, in a recursive function, when you run it, it would actually replace it with the number 3. But for simplicity, we'll just cross it out. All right, so now we can look at f of 3, the other side, and by definition, and then we'll just work on one of them, which is f of 2. We know what that is. We trickle it down. We cross those two out because now we can cross this one out. Let's look at the other side. It's just f of 1, which is just 1. Trickle it down. We're done with that, and now we're done with everything, and now we can add everything all together, and it's f of 5, which, voila, it actually matches. So yay, right? Okay, cool. So now it's pseudocode. So the pseudocode, we just need to ask for a positive number. We've got to double check that it's positive and a whole number because this only works for that situation. And then we're going to create a recursive function to double check that, hey, what happens if our number is less than or equal to 1? We just return that number because it'll satisfy these two. And then we can deal with when our number is greater than 1. We just use this formula. And then finally, we print it out. Okay, so pseudocode to Python code, and here we go. So we're gonna ask for our number, and we're actually gonna be asking for the term, how many terms you want to get to. Okay, so why I say the terms is because this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, this is 6. And it just works better that way. And then, so we check for the input to make sure that it's positive and it's a whole number. And then if it's not, we go into our Fibonacci sequence. And here, line 13 and line 14, it was just a little, I wanted to show you how it prints through each, while it's looking through the nth term, but it's gonna look beautiful. All right, so all together, so we've been playing with f of 5, so we're gonna be looking at the 6th element, right? So that's why right here it says how many terms we want to express. We want the 6th element because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then it goes through recursively, just how it would do it right here. And then it would print out 5. All right. I could do a demo if you guys want, but it would take some time. But I can do that if you want. Yeah. No? I kind of pulled. Is that a yes? You want to see it? Hello?
Yeah.
You want to see it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, so cool. All right, we will just, all right. How many terms would you like to see?
10.
10?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's gonna be huge. All right, it's 34. It's 34. All right, let's go and look at our little table here, right? So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Yeah, 34. 34. All right. Do you guys want another one? Um, we could do. Do you want to be? Do you want to do 20? We could do 20. Or here. How about 17? We'll do 17. All right. So the 17th term, or term 17, is f of 16, and that equals 987. All right, f of 16. There we go. All right. I can also try to debug it for you, but we're gonna need a really tiny number. I would actually recommend something like 2 or 3, but otherwise it's a lot of clicking. But all right,
Yeah, you
so
can give 5 and show 5 or 6, and then you can debug mode.
okay. All right, so I clicked the debugging, and so it reads this. All right, it goes and looks at what it's set to equal input. All right, sees a print statement and what it's a whole string. Cool. Now prints it out. I really don't think, or I 5 is so, it is so long, but I will do 5. All right, cool. So it sets it to 5. All right, and then it looks at the definition. Then it goes here. Nth term is bigger than 0. Checks that. Sets it equal to it. So this is false. So does it execute what's below? So it goes to the else statement. So prints. All right, so it goes to the range, and it looks at the nth term, and our nth term is 5. And now we didn't put a start, so it's going to automatically be 0. The start will be 0, but the end will be 5. Okay, all right. So I is 0. But we're going to increase it by 1 because that's the first term, right? But it's going to be f of 0, right? So now it's going to go to our function. and then it's going to enter and go into the if statement, check that. So this is going to be true, so it's going to return the number. It's going to store it. And so now this whole line 14 is virtually complete, right? And now it prints it. And now it's none, and then it's gonna go to now I equals 1. And it's just gonna keep doing that over, right? Okay, it's true. It's gonna train the number. Now it's gonna print it. And there's nothing else. So now it's gonna be I equals 2. All right. So now this one's a little interesting. So with this if statement, num is 2, right? The comparison is going to be false. So it's going to go into the else statement. And then it's going to go grab this formula that we have and look at num minus 1, and it's going to set it equal, num is going to be 2, right? So that's 1, and it's just going to go back up, right? Because it's recursive. So now this is going to be true. It's going to return 1. So now that part of the formula has been replaced with 1. And now it's going to move on to the next one. And it's going to do the same thing. So 2 minus 2 is 0. Cool. Now it's going to go back up again because now num is 0. Check the if statement. This is going to be true. Now it's going to set num to 0. And now it's just 1 plus 0. Cool. It's going to solve that. It's just going to be 1. And then it's going to go back to our little for loop that we had. And it's going to print. I think you guys get the picture. And that's it.
Well done, Tilly. I didn't expect you will make it more simpler. Actually, I didn't know about this bunny story. It's actually good to know. Fascinating.
Ah,
Uh,
awesome.
you made a very complex program into a simpler one by your explanation. I understood it well. Guys, any doubts? Sirisha, Rachita, any doubts in that Fibonico series? Actually, this is one of the hardest program in the given assignments. Fibonico is the hardest one because it's a recursive call, right?
Yes. Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah, any questions, comments, concerns, hopes, dreams?
No, no questions. You did well, Tilly.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for your patience while I dealt with the tech issues.
Actually, this kind of program will need a good explanation, otherwise it will be confusing, but you did a good job.
Thank you.
I should say thank you. And yeah, so we are inside IPython. So we have seen to create a file. Let me do it. So write file is a keyword. You have to always use this. And then the file name. Maybe text one dot text, and so it is overwriting. Let me open it. So here I'm just passing the file name, and I have to give open function. So it opens and it copies the content into my file. Okay. So let's see. Okay. It should be in single or double quotes. So let's see what is the content of my file. Okay. So here what I did, I copied the content, but to open, I can't open it directly, or I can't print it directly like how we usually do with a variable. Since it's a file, I have to give my file dot read. So it is going to read. It is telling hello, how are you, and slash n means next line and also next line. Let me open my local file. So this is my path. So there is a cursor in the next line, so the empty line is added, and one more cursor is there. I am now giving down arrow, but it's not going down because this is the end of line. So we have 3 line, okay, and I am giving up arrow. We are going up, but after this a down arrow is not working because there was a new space added. That's why it's showing slash n one line and slash n the next empty line. So this is the content of the file. Let me change the content. So let me do one more thing. We just created a file using this keyword followed by the file name, and we wrote the content, and then we opened it. Sorry, here is a open. So we open it and then we read it. After open only you can read. Without open you can't read. So we read. Let me read it again. So now what happens? You see empty. Because what happens when you read for the next time? It goes to the end of the line. Now the line is here, it is reading, so nothing is there here, so it couldn't show anything. So if you want to again read from the start, you have to set the index to 0. So what I'll do, my file. We saw open, we saw read, now it is seek. We have to give seek and index as 0. We are setting the index now. So we have set the index. Now we have to read. I know it's little like a lengthy process, but reading a file and writing is also a complex task, isn't it? So we have to go through all this, seek, read everything. So let me read it again. It's going to give me an empty because it is end of the file. So you have to seek to the start of the file using index 0, then you can read the file. You can read the file line by line using read lines method. So it is my, so let me first seek it to the start because we are at the end. So I made the index to 0. Now I am going to use a read lines method. So here it is telling line number 1. And it is always a good practice to close the file when you've done all your read, seek and write. But before that, I want to add some more content. So what I'll do, I'll give my file dot write. Okay, I have to set it to write. So to write a file, you have to first give open function and then you have to pass a argument as W. W stands for write and W plus means read and write. Okay. So whenever you're opening a file with W or W plus, what happens that it truncates the original file. So whatever there in the file is deleted. So let's see. Let me close this. Go here, refresh. See here at 0 KB, so nothing is there inside the file. Whenever you give W plus, it is going to delete the content. So be cautious when you give W or W plus. So this is like overwriting it. So it is telling how many column or character. So let me change the index to 0 and then read it. So it is going to give me, this is a new line. Let me go to the path again, refresh. Why it's showing 0 KB, okay. So this is a new line has got added. So as I said, it is always a good practice to close a file. So to close it, you just have to use close function method. So now I want to write into my file without deleting the content which is already there. What should I do? I have to append. It's not write now, it is append. So I'm opening a file. Here I'm giving A instead of W, append, and now I'm going to write. So I have to write it in the next line. So I'm giving /n, which means it goes to the new line. So let's do one thing. Go refresh here. So it's having 1 KB. I don't know, I couldn't see anything. Let me do one thing here. So I'm just calling my file.read, and then I'm putting it inside the print function. Definitely when I give my file.read in the terminal, it is going to print the output. So here we already saw whenever we give read, it is printing, but this is not the case when you write in your .py Python code. You have to give print, right? So I'm trying that out here. You see a 3 line got added, but I don't know what is the case with my local file. Okay, 3 lines got added. It's just checking some time. So since I gave /n, it went to the next line. Maybe I would have given some space. That's why you see space in the start. So yeah, here I've given space. That's why you see space in the start of the line. So now we have done writing the file. So what I'll do, I'll close it again, right? So we saw how to create a new file. We have created a new file, and then we have written something inside it, and we are assigning that file to a variable called my file. So now henceforth, instead of using .txt, you can use this variable, and then we are opening it. So for doing any operation, read or to write, you have to open it first. So we opened it, and then we are reading it, right? So this variable, just calling this variable will work with other objects. Like if you're having a variable and you're saving string inside it or integer inside it, then just giving a name in terminal will give you that output. But it's not the case with a file. You just have to use a method called read, and it is reading whatever is inside it. And then when I read it again, it's showing empty because it is reaching to the end of the next line. I mean, after reading the first 10, what it does, it goes to the next and it doesn't find anything, so that's why it's showing as empty. So I'm setting the index to the start. I have given 0, so it is going to the start of the file. Then now again I'm reading it. The pointer is now moved to the first line. When you read it, it's going to print you this. And again I'm trying to read, yeah, it is empty. And then again I'm giving 0. So here I want to write. So what I'm giving w plus, which is the read plus write, and here I'm adding a new line. This is a new line, is I have to use write method here, and then I'm just passing the line which I wanted to add, and then I'm setting my index to 0. When you read it, it is showing this is a new line. But what you are seeing here is there was a previously something else was there. It got replaced by this content. Correct? I don't see that hello, how are you? So it got replaced. So then after doing that, I'm closing it. So this is called overwriting. W is for overwriting, removes whatever was there already and writing a new content to it. But if I don't want to remove the content but append something to it, then what I have to do, I have to give open. With open, I have to give a plus. So I'm telling open, I'm going to open a file and I'm going to append something. So here I said I'm going to open a file, but I'm going to deleting the content. So when you give w plus, it is going to delete the content, and when you write, a new line is written. So here it opens a file and places the cursor at the end of the file, and whatever you write after that will be written. Whatever you are giving next will be written there. So I'm just giving write for both. I have to give write function only, but with open, whatever you have given, no, in that mode it will be opened. So now I'm adding two lines and then I'm moving the index to 0 and then I'm printing my file. So this is a file I see. So this is the content of my file which I have written now. So I wanted to do one more thing. What I wanted to do is I want to append with the same command which I have given at the start. So here instead of this, I'm going to give this -e, which is also append. So here what happened? Okay, I'll give enter now. So this is a command we use initially, right, to create a file, double percentage write file. So I'm giving the same thing, but I'm passing an argument called -e, which is append. So I give this. Here I need not give write, open, all those things, open and open in different mode and write. All those things is not needed. So I'm going to give added. So you all know we use is, right? For example, if a, in or is, all those things we use, so it's a command, so that's why it's highlighting, but anyway it will be added to your file. Okay, appending to the test.file. Now what I'll do, okay, it's a, what it's telling, IO operation on close file. This is an input output operation, but you're performing on close file. So let me open it, because you see we have already closed it here. Okay, I have to pass the file name. So I'm just giving open, and inside the bracket I have to give the file, which file I want to open it, otherwise it doesn't know. So after opening, if it is still open, it's not closed, then you need not do this. So since I closed it here, I'm just opening it again and with the file name. So to read it, you just have to give read. So this is a new line, then this is appended text, and another line added through a file write file command. This is another line. So whatever we added through normal mode, it is also there, and whatever we added through this mode is also there. Let me close this file and refresh and open it again. So you see another line added through. So these are added. So now we will see how to iterate through a file, like how to use loop for file. So I will give for line in open, which file I want to open, test.txt, and it should be in single quotes. So I have written a for command for loop for line in open. There is an issue because I have not added colon to it. So now, so it is clearly telling expected colon. So now print line. So one after another. So if you see in a program, it will say one line after another and it will give you. So usually when you read, it will be like this, right? In a single line, it is going to give everything. In a Go, it is reading whatever is there, a new line, then next line, then there is a space, everything it reads. But here, it reads the first line, then again it goes to the for loop and reads the next line. That's why you see a gap between them and there is no slash in and the continuing text. So it is reading one after another. So here I've used line and I'm giving the same variable here, right? So let me do one thing for ASDF in open. So it is again doing the same thing. Whatever variable or object I use here, I have to use that here. That's all. You can give X or line or ASDF, but for every line in this, print that every line. That's what we are telling it. Guys, any doubts with file? I know actually we have covered a lot and here the commands all looking weird, like we never use these kind of commands and we are using inside IPython. Maybe if you try one or two times, you open your terminal and give IPython and you try this, you will get hang of it. You will understand because hardly we have 2 to 3 command. One is open, write, and open with W, open with A, write, seek, read, close. That's all. And you understand all this, right? But the word itself will give you the name, write, read. But the operation differs. When you give A, it's different. When you give W, it's different. That you have to understand. And you have to mug up this command also. And you want to append, you can give hyphen A here. And you can use for loop for all the data structure. You can use for loop, set, loop, variable, string, everything you can use for loop. So this for this file we are seeing the for loop, how we are going to use for loop for file. Any doubts?
So how to download IPython?
You need not download anything here, you just have to give IPython. I haven't downloaded anything,
Okay.
I just gave IPython. So it is a part of Python.
Mhm.
If you face any issue, because it got downloaded along with my Python, if you face any issue, let me know.
Okay. Because
Because
my
this,
Python version is 3.8. So
uh-huh.
will it
Could you
will
all
it
guys try now opening your terminal and give
okay.
IPython if you are
Okay.
going inside it.
We should exit out of this normal Python and we should try, right?
Correct, correct.
But I gave it, it was giving like object not found.
Okay.
The term IPython is not recognized.
Okay, then do one thing. So here is a command.
If it is there or not, how can we check?
Give pip install IPython. Could you run this in your command?
Try.
This one we had to guess, uh, do this one.
Yeah. So there is no option to check what you have. What you can do is just give IPython in your terminal. If it's not opening, then what you have to do, you shouldn't be inside Python and all, a normal terminal. When you
Okay,
open
okay.
terminal, otherwise close your terminal, open it, then
Uh-huh.
give pip install IPython.
Okay.
Usually IPython comes as pre-installed when you install Python. But sometime if it's not available, you can do like this. Maybe someone is trying, wanted to share your screen. I will see what's happening. Who's
Yeah,
trying
I
now?
got it.
Yeah, for me it's downloading. Chill, like, yeah, it's done. Let me see.
I
Trisha,
installed and
what
I
about-
got it.
okay, so you went inside IPython mode, right?
Yes,
And you could see this input one, correct?
yes, yes.
Mm-hmm, good.
Yeah, even me too.
Okay. Tilly, what about you? Okay. Okay, then fine, cool, guys. Maybe we can end the session here today. And thanks, Silly, again. You did a really great presentation. I know it would have taken you a lot of time to prepare that, but yeah, it was enjoyable. I enjoyed your presentation and I understood the concept well. Thanks for doing that. And thank you guys for connecting over weekend. Thanks a lot. People who haven't joined, maybe they will go through the recording and they will understand. But anyway, thanks for connecting over weekend. Maybe some for some guys it is Friday night
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Anu, how to come out from IPython? Okay.
that's all.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Mhm. Thanks, guys. And we have one more day, one more session on weekend. So please try to join there also. Thank you, guys. We
Thank you.
can end, we can end the session here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, Tilly. We can end the session if you don't have anything to talk about.